Let me ask you something that most people are too comfortable to confront. Why do some people with average talent, average resources, average circumstances build extraordinary lives, while others with every advantage imaginable end up with nothing but excuses and almost wasses? The answer is not what you think. It is not intelligence. It is not luck. It is not who you know or where you started. It is something so simple, so unsexy, so available to every single human being alive that the fact most people ignore it is nothing short of a tragedy. It is consistency. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why it is the most underestimated force on the planet and how the absence of it is silently destroying your potential every single day you wake up and choose comfort over commitment. You are going to discover why motivation is a lie you can no longer afford to believe. You are going to understand the exact mechanism that separates the ones who build from the ones who just dream. You are going to see why the life you want is not locked behind a secret strategy or perfect plan. It is locked behind a standard. Your standard? The one you have been lowering every time life got uncomfortable. Stay with me, because what you are about to hear will not just inspire you for a day. It will rewire the way you operate for the rest of your life. Most people wake up every morning waiting to feel ready, waiting to feel fired up, waiting for that surge of energy that tells them now is the time. And here's what that waiting is costing them: everything. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings are liars. They come when life is easy and vanish the moment resistance shows up. The people who actually build something, the ones who transform their bodies, their businesses, their lives, they stopped chasing the feeling a long time ago. They made a decision, not a goal, not a wish, a non-negotiable standard. A standard that says, this is who I am and this is what I do, regardless of mood, regardless of circumstance, regardless of whether the world is cheering or completely silent. That's the shift. From I'll do it when I feel like it to I do it because it's who I am. And when you lock in that standard, something extraordinary begins to happen in the dark. In the early mornings, nobody posts about. In the sessions, nobody applauds. In the pages written, the calls made, the work done when zero eyes are watching, that's where the real construction happens. The reps nobody sees are the ones that build everything everyone wants. The overnight success that took 10 years, the calm under pressure that took 1,000 uncomfortable moments to forge. The body, the skill, the reputation, none of it was born in a highlight reel. It was built in the invisible hours, stacked one on top of the other by someone who refused to let a bad day become a stopped life. You want results people admire? Do the work people never witness. Show up in the silence. The results will be loud enough. Every time you quit and restart, you don't just lose time, you lose identity. You send a message to the deepest part of yourself that says, I am someone who stops. And that message compounds just like success does, except in reverse. Each abandoned attempt makes the next one harder. Not because the goal got bigger, but because your belief in yourself got smaller. Most people think their problem is discipline. It isn't. Their problem is that they've restarted so many times they no longer trust their own word. They've broken the promise to themselves so often that when they make a new one, some part of them is already bracing for the collapse. Stop starting over. Not as a motivational phrase and as a survival decision. The next time you want to quit, don't quit and restart. Just don't quit. Show up badly. Show up at half capacity. Show up angry, tired, uninspired, but show up. Because a streak of imperfect action destroys a cycle of perfect intentions every single time. And when you do, when you refuse to break the chain, you begin to discover what ordinary days are actually made of. People look at extraordinary lives and think they were built on extraordinary moments. They weren't. They were built on Tuesdays. On the unremarkable, uncelebrated, utterly normal decision to do the thing again. No crowd, no camera, no dopamine hit. Just the quiet act of honoring the commitment one more time. That is not small. That is the whole architecture of a life that means something. Greatness is never a single dramatic leap. It is the relentless accumulation of ordinary done with extraordinary consistency. The life everyone admires is just a long, unbroken line of days nobody noticed, lived fully on purpose without waiting for permission. Every choice you make today is being witnessed, not by an audience, not by a mentor, not by anyone who can validate or applaud you, but by the person you are becoming. Your future self is watching what you do right now. Every time you fold when it gets hard, that future version of you gets smaller. Every time you hold the line when everything in you wants to quit, that version grows stronger, more capable, more real. This is not abstract. This is the mechanism of identity. You are either building someone you will be proud to become, or you are slowly betraying them, one small compromise at a time. And the bridge between who you are now and who you are becoming has only one name: discipline. Not punishment, not restriction. Not the cold, joyless grind that most people mistake it for. Discipline is the ultimate freedom, because when you master the ability to do what needs to be done, regardless of how you feel, nothing can stop you. The undisciplined person is a slave to their moods, their impulses, their circumstances. The disciplined person answers to none of that. They move with intention through a world that runs on reaction. They are free in the deepest sense, free to build, free to choose, free to become exactly who they decided to be. The moment everything in you screams stop is not the signal to quit. It is the signal that the work is finally reaching the depth where transformation lives. The day you feel like quitting is the day it starts working. Resistance is not your enemy. It is your indicator. It shows up precisely when you are close enough to matter, when the pressure is high enough to forge something real. Most people interpret that discomfort as a stop sign. The ones who win read it as a green light. And that is the difference between people who dream and people who dominate. Not talent, not timing, not resources. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your habits. Your goals are just the vision. Your habits are the vehicle. And a vehicle with no fuel, no daily structure, no repeated behavior, no ingrained pattern of action goes nowhere regardless of how beautiful the destination looks on the map. Build the habit, protect the habit, because on your worst day, when the vision has faded and the motivation is gone, your habits are the only thing still moving you forward. Talent gets you in the room. It opens the door, turns the heads, earns the first opportunity. But the room has seen talented people walk in and disappear 1,000 times. What keeps you there, and what builds the reputation, the trust, the body of work that outlasts every trend, is consistency. The ones who last are rarely the most gifted. They are the most relentless. They show up when the gifted ones don't. And they show up because they understand the only game worth playing. 1% better every day. Not transformation by explosion, transformation by accumulation. Tiny, unglamorous, unwitnessed improvements stacked so deliberately and so patiently that one day the world looks up and cannot explain how you got there. Every single day was the answer. You have now seen the truth that most people spend their entire lives running from. Consistency is not a technique. It is not a hack. It is a decision. The most important decision you will ever make about who you are and what your life is going to stand for. The talent will fade. The motivation will disappear. The circumstances will work against you. But the person who has built consistency into the very fabric of their identity, that person cannot be stopped. Not by failure. Not by fear. Not by time. You came here with a question about why some people win and others don't. Now you have the answer. The only question left is what you are going to do with it. Starting today, starting now. Not tomorrow, not when conditions are perfect. Now. Thank you for being here and investing this time in yourself. That alone tells me you are not average. If this speech moved something in you, hit that like button, drop your biggest takeaway in the comments, and subscribe to Alpha Motivation World because this is just the beginning. Next, we are going deep into the mindset that makes consistency unbreakable, the video that will completely change how you think about discipline forever. Do not miss it.